Zoe, this is a great little dish that a friend of mine taught me who comes from Vietnam. It's got some lovely bit of pork belly, which I'm going to take out of the packet here.
It wouldn't be an episode with Adrian without pork.
Oh, we love
What
pork.
a way to start.
We love pork. And what I'll do is I'm going to cut the pork up. It's got the skin on it as well.
Okay.
I'm going to cut it up into a dice like this, and we're going to marinate it in this
Lovely.
bowl here. So what I'm going to get you to do is I've got these chilies here.
Fabulous.
If you just take the tops off the chilies and then just slice them up for me. It's a nice round.
And these are fiery little chilies, these ones.
We call these bird's eye chilies or Thai chilies. Normally we use the long red ones, but these ones here have got some kick to it, which is what I like.
This is good. And now that I'm not pregnant, as you can see, I can eat everything, including lots of hot chili.
Well, we're going to have plenty of that. Then I'm going to throw this over the back there because when we're using raw meat, we always keep the boards very separate. Now, what I'm going to add to that is I'm going to add some kaffir lime leaves. And I'm going to slice these really fine. I'm just going to take them out of the packet like that.
I love the smell of kaffir lime leaves. And a lot of people say, look, I don't know what to do when I've got all these leftover kaffir lime leaves. You can freeze them.
That's a great way to do it. Now, what I'm going to get you to do, I've got some soy sauce here and fish sauce. About 3... That's right. We'll wipe that up later. About 3 tablespoons of soy sauce into there. And about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now, if you don't like fish sauce, you don't have to put it in, but I think it gives, you know, Vietnamese food such a great flavour. I love it. It's quite strong and pungent. You know, I reckon a good splosh of that in there. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to put some brown sugar in here because I just love the flavour of brown sugar.
Now, you know I'm not too pro-sugar, but I'm about getting the best product, and I have noticed that you're not using palm sugar, which is great, because that's bad for the environment.
That's right. No, I love brown sugar, so I'm happy to use it, but I love the sweetness. That's what I'm going for. So good or bad for the environment, I just love the sweetness.
You don't care, do you?
I do, a little bit.
You do care about the environment, but in this case, like you said, it's all about the Adrian flavour.
Exactly.
Sugar, salt,
Make it
fat.
taste good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice these onions. I've got some ginger here.
Lovely.
Slice the ginger and the garlic, slice it up and give it a rough chop.
With all these interesting, you know, big flavours like the sugars and salt, ginger's really complementary because what it actually does, it has an anti-inflammatory, so it's working really well on the digestive element of it.
You hear that? Apparently it's good for you as well. Now, you'll chop that up. Now, if you slice that, I'm going to slice that up. Now, I've got some garlic. I'm just going to give that a quick little crush like that. Now, you could finely chop it or use minced garlic, but for me, I just like to give it a smash like that and a rough chop because, you know, when you come across it in the actual dish we're eating, you get these fiery bits of garlic.
And is this OK? This is a bit of a rough chop?
That's
all right?
exactly what I want. That's it, yeah. And what I'm going to do is give this coriander a twist, and I'm just going to rough chop the coriander. And what I'm going to do is fry all this off.
Oh, nice. I like that. Was that meant to go with you?
It could have, but you know
sorry.
what? But you know what? You know what? It's all going to go in together, so it doesn't really matter. So as long as I'll let you stir that, and if you stir it, that'll make up for throwing it in there. How's that? But
I'm just ruining his recipe's first episode.
That's the beauty of this because I mean, if you put the ginger in the marinade, it doesn't really matter.
And I think also, like, you know, when it comes to cooking, it is also learning how to be flexible with food. You know, if you do mess something up, know what the flavour tastes like, know how you can make those changes.
Now, what I've got here in the pan is quite hot. I've got some olive oil in there. You could use any sort of oil, vegetable oil. The garlic, the onion, and the coriander. Can you smell the coriander?
Coriander is such a distinctive smell, and it's so interesting because some people just hate coriander. And I mean, I really do have a lot
You love it or hate it. But what I've got there, that's simmering off nicely. And normally, I'd let this sweat off a little bit more in a lower temperature. But now, what I'm going to do is throw in the pork. And here's a little tip. You could, of course, brown off the pork if you want, but with all that sugar in there, it's going to caramelise really quickly. Something that I do, if I want to really sort of speed this up, is I've got a lid here. I'll pop this on a high heat, and I'll pop the lid on for a second. Nice. And what that does is help to sort of seal the outside, get the heat around the outside.
Lovely.
But in the meantime, we've got some coconut water here, which a lot of healthy people or sporty people will be just sort of sipping away at this.
These are really high in electrolytes. So if you are drinking or doing a lot of exercise, this is really nice to drink with it as well.
You know what they are good for, Zoe? They're also good for my pork dish.
This is true.
But if you're adding stock, if you don't want to add stock, or you can add some coconut milk. I mean, normally I'd add chicken stock or you know, pork stock or beef stock to a dish like this.
I like that as an alternative.
It's great, nice sweet water. It's,
and these are the kind of products that you can keep in your fridge ready to go, you know, not only from a hydration point of view, but from a cooking point of view.
Now, when I was in Cairns recently with my family, we went to the market there and the guy chopped the top off a coconut, put the straws in, handed it to my kids, they loved it.
I've been to that Cairns market where the guy does that.
Now, can I have some salt and pepper, please, Zoe? And we'll put some salt in here.
All right. Now,
this is going to simmer away.
You just do it, Adrian. I don't want to know.
There we go. Turn away. There we go. This is going to simmer.
I can hear it. I can hear the crunchiness, so I know it was at least a tablespoon or 2.
This is going to make it taste really nice. Pepper in there, fantastic. Now, of course, this is going to simmer away for about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. It'll reduce down and thicken up a little bit, and the pork will be nice and cooked. I'll know because I'll pick it out, and the meat will want to fall apart, the skin will fall apart and be nice and gelatinous. This will be delicious. Reduce down. I can't wait for your prawn dish. I think the two dishes will go really well together.
Adrian, although I haven't been to Vietnam, this is one of my favourite dishes. It's fresh, it's clean. I'd love you to get started on the carrot and the Spanish onion. So I'm just going to get you to julienne or, finely chop into little strips the carrot and just finely chop the Spanish onion. Now, I'm going to be using wombok and kale as the base. Now, they're both in the cabbage family. Both, nutritionally really nice. I like this wombok because it's a little sweeter than sort of a normal cabbage.
And it's really easy to slice.
It's so easy to use. Yeah, we love nature's convenient foods. These are just the easy, simple way to healthy eating.
I love a convenient drive-through as well. That's always works for me.
We know. Now, kale is so fashionable right now, and there's lots of different types. We've got here the Russian kale, which is the purple kale, and we've got the green kale as well. Now, it's really important that you do take the stem off because it's a little fibrous. So just run your knife down the leaves, really simple. And just shred that off here as well because, I'm sure there is a bit of nutrition in the stem, but
You could, if you wanted to, cut up the stem and fry it with a little bit of bacon, onion and garlic and a little bit of butter, and that's a nice way of cooking with it. So tomato... Oh, my God, that's wet. Now, I've got these herbs here. Do you want me to cut them off for you? Yeah,
that'd be great. So I've got some coriander and I've got some fresh mint. Now, you'll see that...
Can I throw that in?
Yes, please. You'll see that this is the base of our salad, but so will the herbs. So we want those lovely aromatic flavours to come through. Now, I'm just roughly chopping this kale because I do want to have a bit of texture in there. So pop that into my bowl.
So cut it across like that? That's what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I've got some prawns. Now, if you are using prawns, please always use Australian prawns. You don't want the preservatives. We've got such good products in Australia. So, this is the standard that we want to go for. These are beautiful and sweet, not too salty. You can see that I've already cooked them and peeled them, and I'm going to pop them straight into my bowl.
I'm just looking at the ratio here of prawns to salad. There's a little bit too much salad for me, but that's OK.
That's all right. Hey, you can have my prawns if you really want it.
I love those prawns. There you go.
OK, so I'm going to pop the salad aside. That's perfect. And we can get started on the dressing. So the dressing, again, is those sort of classic Asian, Vietnamese type flavours. I'll get you to microplane some ginger.
Sure.
And I'm also going to add some lime zest, which is, again, that lovely sort of burst of flavour, and we're going to add the lime juice as well. So that's instead of using vinegar, we're using our acid coming from the lime as well. Now, I've got some fish sauce. You'll see that, Adrian, I'm not going to add any more salt, even though...
I noticed that. I was looking, waiting for the salt to go in there. Lovely Murray River flakes, great for flavour.
I think that's a fabulous salt. It's Australian-made, as we know, but also, it's less processed, and we want to get all the goodness from the salt if you are going to have salt in your diet, so that's a good one to go for. But we don't need any more because fish sauce is salty. I've got some chilli as well. We do want a bit more fieriness in it if you want to. Yeah,
some zest from that? Yeah.
Zest the lime for me, and you can put the juice of the two limes in here. And like I said before, that's going to be the acid and the vinegar. We've got the salt coming in with the fish sauce.
Oh,
Pop about a tablespoon of that. And I've got some honey. So, again, when we are doing our dressings, you saw what Adrian did. It is that balance of acid to salt to sweet. So you do need to add a bit of sweet.
And we love honey. Those busy little bees have been working hard to give us our honey.
Hard.
There we go.
Let's give them the respect they need.
Now, I've drizzled some lime down the side of the jar there, Zoe, so...
That's no problem at all.
But they're really juicy limes, these ones. They're fantastic. They must be Australian limes.
Of course. Now, I'm using light coconut cream. You can use the full fat, that's OK. I just want this from a flavour point of view as well. And then I've got some fresh chilies. I'm going to give this a good shake down. Adrian, you've got a couple more ingredients to add to your dish. We'll clean this up, I'll mix mine all together, and it will be the perfect balance to your rich dish.
Zoe, look at that.
The suspense of it.
It's been boiled away. You can see it's reduced down. The pork is really nice and tender.
And you can see that, like you said, that the fat or the sinew part of it's quite gelatinous.
The flavour, you mean? Look at that flavour at the top there. I'll just stir that around a little bit. Palm hearts are great in there. I've got some spring onions and some mint, freshly picked.
That sort of clean, fresh flavour to a very rich, indulgent dish.
Stir that through.
All about balance, isn't it?
Ready to go, ready to go. Now, I'm going to serve this up. I mean, it's beautifully tender, and I'm just going to put some of this on the bowl here. Look at that. Nice sauce. It's nice and rich, and and reduced down and all those lovely bits of fresh herbs. I like putting the herbs in at the end. I've even got some boiled egg on the side there, a little bit of salt to go on top of it, and of course, some deep fried shallots.
I love it.
You're gonna have some
Like,
crunch to it.
Just keeps getting layered and layered and layered with more indulgent stuff.
Some roasted sesame seeds there, and of course some a little bit of coconut cream just to. Oh, look at that. That looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It presents beautifully, Adrian. It really does look lovely.
I've also got some of this green rice here because
Yeah.
I know you love the healthy rice. So.
Yeah, I really like that rice too. It's from Forbidden Foods because I've actually given it to Emily and she seems to really like it.
I've cooked this in beef stock, so it's going to be even more delicious. There we go. I just want to get into one of those prawns. I want to taste the dressing.
Now, I want to see
pick it
what
up with my finger.
Dying to see what you think because it is such a balance to all of this.
Really nice. I love the dressing.
Love that.
It's sharp. I love the coconut cream in there as well. The lime, the ginger. It works beautifully. It's a great little salad. There's a lot of coleslaw there for me. I'd probably reduce the coleslaw, increase the prawns. That's okay.
It's definitely a Zoe proportioned dish.
Summertime at your place, I reckon that's going to be a winner,
For sure. All right.
And let's get into this pork here. Nice little piece of that, nice and soft.
That is really tasty. I find it quite sweet for me, but I think the balance for me is really nice. The creaminess is beautiful, but it's a big dish, you know. There's nothing small about this. So for me, I probably have a portion about the quarter of the size and a little bit of rice and the salad, and that would be perfect.